Alright, let's just do this. I'm not sure why I can't hear music. Hopefully you can hear me. Oh shit, I can hear myself, which is a bit worrying. I don't know why the music is. Got that out later. So, new layout. I've changed computer, as you can see over here. So I reinstalled everything. I was having problems getting two cameras to work, so I switched over to OBS. Yeah, because of the rig, yeah. I switched over to OBS instead of Streamlabs on advice from Hayes, and but we're going to look at Rainbow Islands tonight. I've spent a ridiculous amount of time today trying to get this with a built file. I'll show you actually what it's doing. Really bizarre. So close. So I can get it to load fine. That's wrong. I've been trying to mess around with different points to try and figure out why it's doing. So I can get it to this point. Cycles through the menus fine. It cycles through a few different based on a number. Fine, it is exactly as you want it, but the moment you add one credit, it crashes, and I'm not sure why. It seems to be jumping to a weird place. Oh yeah, I've got new alerts as well. I like. I've been on a mission doing. Oh, I got an emote as well. Thank you. Haha, sleep. Cool. Yeah, I went on a mission when I did this. This new overlay. I did a load of new alerts as well. So I've got none of the standard alerts. All different. Okay, so let's start by actually just having a look at its assembler. Oh, sorry. How's everybody feeling at the moment? Anybody finished work yet? I've got to do 3 more days and then I get some break. Tried lots and lots of different versions and they all have the same problem. It's not the versions that's the issue. It's the way this game is set up. My Beagle's done till the second version. Dark done tomorrow. Yeah, most of my work colleagues seem to be agreed to do Monday and Tuesday. I have real food, so it'll be not a week keep you doing. Or we have to segregate you different. So the reason I wanted to look at this game today was it's been mentioned quite a lot actually on Twitter in the past few days. I think it is like the 25th or 25th, but it's some kind of anniversary of this being released. Oh, sometimes my voice is cutting off. Maybe I've got the. Let me try bringing the microphone a bit closer. There we go. And hi, Prince Faze. Welcome to the stream. See, when I add credits on here, it's fine. When you add credits, it goes into this mode. Let me just check my mic settings because I know the mic does have like a noise cutoff thing somewhere, or how to find that. Oh no, it doesn't. Because I've changed this now to OBS, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to for things. Hopefully it's hopefully it doesn't cut off. I brought it right next to my mouth now. Actually, you can't see it. Oh, yeah, you can. There it is. It's much closer now. So yeah, this game has been on Twitter quite a lot recently. Braybrook has posted a little bit about it. And there's a really good blog I found. I posted it on Discord today, actually. Let me just bring it up. Where I posted it. It's from last year, but it's a really good article about the way they developed Rainbow Islands across all the platforms. For some reason I can't zoom in, but I can zoom out. There we go. And it's got a really interesting little bit down here. It's something I'm going to look at in a minute when we start looking the statistics thing. So how certain items spawn based on counters in the game. So we're going to try and find these counters and see if we can force some of these as well. It's a bit annoying that I can't get a build working, so we're going to have to kind of just kind of work on messing with memory addresses, and hopefully we can do it without it crashing. Otherwise we'll have to keep loading up again. A lot of streamers have had issues with Windows patch last week. Yeah, I did. When did I do a Windows patch? I think I did one the other day actually, because I needed something for the machine, so could be that. It's a bit annoying, the ambient. I don't have a noise gate on it. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's double check. Filters. Oh, there is a noise gate. Ah, okay. Yeah, let me get rid of the noise gate. Turn it off completely. Probably what it is. You might get a bit of background noise though now from my machine, because this machine, even though it's water cooled, is very noisy. Because I do have, because there's a PlayStation in the back, it has to be kind of quite heavily cooled. So yeah, I'm still getting used to the OBS layout. It's a little bit awkward. I'm still not fully comfortable with it, but yeah. Okay, just let me know if the background noise is too much. I can put a noise filter on, or noise reduction, or whatever it's called. But hopefully the fans are not too noisy on the microphone. Okay. So let's start by just looking at the title screen. Nothing special here. It's all text. It's at screen location C000. It's just a standard. Actually, it's a multicolor. It's not high res, which is interesting because there was no need for this to be multicolor mode. But you can see all the colors are the first 7, so it's not gonna. None of these characters will actually be in multicolor mode. But for some reason the screen itself is in multicolor mode. The char set is under the IO RAM, which is a technique I use quite a lot as well. So you can store stuff under the IO RAM. So from D000 to E000, you can store code under there, you can store music under there, you can store whatever you want under there. The problem is in order for you to use the VIC registers, the sound registers, the color RAM, you need to bank the IO RAM in, and when you do that, you haven't got access to the stuff that's under there. The difference is the VIC chip will always see. So even if you bank in the IO RAM, so all you can see is the IO registers, so you can use sprites, you can use sound, you can use color RAM. Whenever the VIC chip is looking for data for fonts and for sprites and for bitmaps, it will always look at the RAM underneath IO RAM. IO area, if you like. So it's a handy place to put fonts and sprites, because you can bank the IO RAM out, copy the data there, bank the IO area back in again, and the VIC will always see these fonts and stuff. So this font lives underneath the IO RAM. In fact, if we go and have a look, so this is the IO area, and you can see it's sprite registers and raster registers, screen control registers, and they're copied every 64 bytes like they normally are. Same with the sound, is up here. This is the sound registers. These are copied every 64 bytes as well. Actually, they're copied every 32 on the sound registers. But if I just pause the game and bank out that RAM, now you can see with the I/O area banked out that it's very different indeed, and you can see the font here down the side. And these are sprites, so you can see the sprites are actually under the sound area. You can just about make out Bub there. It's not the easiest thing to see, but you can just about tell that it's there. Let's put the RAM back, and then with the I/O area banked in, you can't see them, but the VIC can, and that's why you get the display here as well. So it's a handy place to put things, because as an area to put code, it's kind of a little bit useless, because you would need to bank out the I/O. It's only really useful for code that runs when nothing's displaying on screen. So some people put temporary code there that needs to be copied into areas between levels or something. Like I've seen intro sequences stored there, so you store an intro sequence there, and you copy it into the area where your map normally is unpacked into, just before you display the intro, and then when the intro is finished, the map will load into that area and wipe it out. So it's a handy place to store things, but I find it most useful for storing graphics. I tend to store sprites there rather than characters, though, because characters I like to edit them on the fly for things like parallax and animations and things. Okay, so let's start the game. So the interesting thing with this game is the rainbow. Why can't I start now? There we go. So the interesting thing with this game is the rainbow. So I'm going to fire one, and we'll go and have a look at how that's made up. So get that moving again. Come on. Oh. There we go. So you can see the player. It's the player and the enemies are made of sprites, standard sprites, no overlays, just simple multicolour sprites. And the little star that fires, that kind of animates from the player when you fire a rainbow, is also a sprite. But the actual rainbow itself is a character creation, which makes sense because I mean later on you can get triple rainbows. And you can be firing quite a lot of these across the screen, so it's quite an achievement to have this kind of system in place, especially with the fact that you can destroy the rainbows and make them fall down the screen, and the fact that they animate on as well. So if I just show one animating on, so you can just about see it. Pressing the wrong buttons. It's been so long since I've done this, I forgot what the buttons are. So you can see it's drawing a little bit at a time. So if I try and I can't do it quick enough. So yeah, it's drawn, and in some places it's merging as well. So you can see here it's merged with the background slightly. In fact, let me go into which mode is it now? This one. There we go. So if we scroll into here, you can see that rainbow is actually merged in with the background, which is kind of cool. You can see the char set here, so I wonder if I can see where it is on the char set. Don't actually see. It's hard to tell because of the colours. So I'm looking for the corner of that rainbow with bricks behind it. I think it's this bit here. Yeah, I think it's that bit there. So there's obviously some spare space that's used for merging them into the background in certain places. I'm guessing it's just on these corners here. So there's no need for these to merge. There's no need for these ones here to merge. Same with the ones on the side, but the corners and maybe this one underneath here as well. I'm guessing that will be there somewhere. So it's like a small bit with a line underneath. Yeah, I'm not seeing it here either. But it will be here somewhere. So it's kind of a nice routine that's doing this. And also bear in mind as well that every level looks slightly different. So you'll notice as you play the game, yeah, the rainbows always fall. They do fall into character boundaries as well. Yeah, I can imagine. Can you imagine the effort it would have taken to do this? Like sub character movements, they would have been absolutely horrific to manage. Yeah, so the color choices on the levels was very important as well. So they've had to deliberately pick a set of multicolors that allows them to still create the rainbow and still create the background as well. So it is a full color scroll. However, it is only, if we go back to that screen again, it is only 1, 2, 3, 4, what's that, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, it's, I can't actually work out how many rows that is. There we go, this is easier. So it's missing 3 at the bottom and 3 at the top, so it is still a 19 row scroll, which is pretty good. That's a hard thing to do at a decent speed, especially full color. Then not having to do this row because it's hidden, or one of these rows. So it's actually an 18 row scroll that we're looking at. It looks like one of the rows is being hidden here as well, probably by a mode switch somewhere. Oh no, the mode switch is there, so you can see as we go down it sets an invalid mode. So we go from multicolor text, standard multicolor text, then we go into this mode, it becomes multicolor extended mode. This is actually an invalid mode, and it sends everything the same color as the, well, it's not the same color as the row, it sends it black. This is a way to hide the kind of the scroll, so you don't see a flickering screen. You just see a border that goes all the way across, and then it moves back into another text mode, multicolor text mode. So we've got 2 char sets, one at D0, one at C800. D0 is the same as the title screen, and the C800 is the one that's being used to draw the map. And then the same thing happens up here, and I'm guessing there's another invalid mode. Actually, there isn't an invalid mode up here. Oh no, there is an invalid mode here. See, multi extend. So when these 2 are selected here, it's enough to send the entire screen, like so, and that creates a. It actually shows as blue on here, but it is black. You can see here there's a black line across here. So the empty row of black under the high score and the empty row of black above the credit is caused by an invalid character mode. So let's see if there's a multiplexer in here. So let's go into the game. Let's get it started. See how far I can get. I probably can't get very far. Not on keys, not on a debugger anyway. I actually don't think there's much need for a multiplexer in this. So notice as well that all the characters, all the items are characters, including this star here as well. So there's another character animation. Oh, it's gone now. But when you hit those stars and they explode, that's also a character animation. So it's quite a nice little routine going on in here for this sort of stuff. I'll show you now when I hit this one. So let's see if I can hit this and pause. Yeah, there we go. Right. There we go. And you can see again, these are all on character boundaries. They're all in standard character areas. You can tell as it moves over the cloud here, it's blanking out the cloud. It's not doing any masking, it's just drawing over the top. Same way that we do our bullets now in the game. The hurry is actually a sprite as well, which makes sense because it needs to kind of move up the screen fairly smoothly, so it makes sense for that to be sprites as well. And if I remember rightly, the message at the end is also sprites. God, this is hard without. Oh, notice how the water is a raster effect as well. So I'm going to pause that as well. Pressing all the wrong buttons here at the moment. So you see the water there is, again, it's just another one of these invalid modes that's just pointing, it's just sending the entire screen across here one colour. Although it's sending it into blue, probably because it's high res extended instead. So it's not showing any of the characters, and it's just blanking it out. It's a simple effect. They're using, okay, so it's changing the character set and the screen at that point. So there's two screens here. There's the screen for the credits and the high score at C0, and there's the screen for the map at C400. When this water effect comes, it's actually changing back to the to this screen, but using extended mode instead of multi-character mode, which is creating this blue effect across there. Hi Carl Henrik, welcome to the stream. I think I could have probably done with your debugger today to try and figure out how to get this game to work properly, because you have rewind in it, right? Which would have been very useful. Okay, let's try and actually get to the end of the level. It's not that easy when you're playing on the keyboard, especially in the debugger. It's not the easiest thing. There we go. Right. So again, these are sprites. We've got one sprite here, 6 sprites there, and I believe there's another. Oh no, so there is a bit of a multiplexer going on. You see here, this, yeah, there is definitely multiplexing going on. But I wonder if it's actually going on during the gameplay or if it's just at the end here. Again, all the items are all done with characters as well. Alright, I'm gonna try and can I even get further? I bet I can't get much further actually. I just want to see if there is more than 8 sprites at any time during normal gameplay. I don't remember there being. See, now the joystick's locked up. It's only going one direction. There we go. I definitely would not recommend playing any game on the debugger. It's not easy. See, that was quite a few sprites, but I still don't think it was. I still don't think there was a multiplex going on. And now I'm stuck that way. No, it's too hard to play like this. I'm actually alright at this game on a normal joystick. It's terrible to play on a keyboard. So far the only time I've seen the multiplexing is during this. I don't think there is any in the main game. I might be wrong though. It does get a bit busier later on, so maybe there is. So the interesting thing about this game will be how the map data is stored as well, because there's a lot more to it than just a simple tile map. So for instance, if I fire a... Oh, to the right place. Some places when you fire a rainbow you uncover stuff, so there's like hidden elements as well, so the map data is going to be slightly more complicated than your average map. Oh, it's so difficult to play when the joystick just wants to pull in one direction. Also, I'm probably looking at the wrong screen. So we'll take a look in a minute and see if we can find out where the counters are for the various things, because there are a lot of counters that count various things like steps and stuff. So we can take a look at those. Maybe we can have another try at getting this to run properly. So I'll show you what happens. So if I pause it here and go to this address. 402B. Actually, why didn't that go straight there? So remember we had this issue, I think it was on Cauldron, where the font was being copied by a routine. It's the same in this game as well. So this routine at this location copies the word Tato in here, and if you do it at the wrong time, so if I do it again now, it will copy some other stuff in there. And then if I do it again, it'll copy the word Tato back there again. But it does seem to lock up when I do this from. Let's see, we've got weird stuff now. Oh, that's one way to complete it. Yeah, so I've completely broken it now. So this is what I was trying to do. I took the code as it. From the debugger as the game had loaded, just before it hit this point, which seemed to be the entry point, and then when I ran that, I do get that far. So I get to this point, and everything looks good, but the moment I try and add a credit, the game locks up. I can't add any more credits, and it seemed to be in a weird place here. So I don't know why it would be doing that. I don't know if it's something to do with something in memory at that point. So let's have a look. We've got. There's nothing unusual about the. You probably can't see that very clearly. I can't make it bigger, unfortunately. 3.5 in the processor port, which is correct to show the correct RAM under the kernel, and the correct RAM the correct RAM under basic ROM. I will show you when I load up this version again in here. It will actually load. Let's try doing a reset. Oops. I spent far too long trying to do this today and came to the conclusion I would hate to crack games as my hobby. It would be frustrating to say the least. It's not for me at all. I don't mind dissecting them. Why is that not working now? Going on here? Oh, there we go. I don't mind dissecting them. Dissecting them is fun. Finding out how things work is kind of cool, and you learn a lot from this as well. But trying to find the entry point for this game is really fun. Oh yeah, why? Yeah. So I'll show you why I did the RTI. So I did a disassembly of it, and I found some really weird stuff. Where was it? This location here. Let me set the font size so you can see it. I was looking at this. This seemed to be an entry point, but even this was behaving weirdly. I was kind of wondering if there was something strange to do with interrupts, but yeah, I mean that doesn't need to be there now. I actually gone way past that. But yeah, that's why that was there. I was looking at the disassembly and trying to figure out what was going on. So this was where... Where was it? Actually, Carl, is your... Actually, I think I did get your... Hang on, I might have it already. I think I've got it. Yeah, but I put one in here as well, I think. Yes, I did. Okay. Oh, this looks like an old version, though. Is this old, or is it... I got this not that long ago. That's not the one. Okay. Nice, bro. Okay. Oh yeah, that looks way different. Okay. Have you got a pre-built version? Yeah, you have. Okay. Let me download that as a zip. So this is a tool that Carl's been working on. Carl Sackrack, depending on where you know him from. He's changed his name on here now, so I remember. Okay, cool. So what do I need to do now? I need to launch Vice with the remote command. Oh no, that's where's my Vice? And then I need to drop in Rainbow Islands. Press the Commodore button. There we go. Click pause. Cool. So this is showing this. I'll go. Oh, it should be. It could be my version of Vice as well. I've had some issues with this version of Vice. Let me try running. Have I got the original X64? No, I haven't actually. I've removed it. Oh, okay. It hangs while it's in remote monitor. Okay, so I need to get to the point where the game's loading. Okay, right. Let me try again. So as soon as the game loads, I need to hit the pause button. Let's open that up again. Okay, cool. So now it's recording. Type quit in the debugger. Okay, take the advice. So I need to get through this section, and then as soon as the game starts, I need to pause it before. That was too soon, wasn't it? Damn it. You only get the backtrace when you're debugging in the debugger. Okay. So I've pressed, yeah, I've pressed it too soon. Damn it. Okay. We'll get used to this. So this is something I do need to look at in a bit more detail, because I do want the ability to rewind things properly. It would definitely help with finding what's going on in the entry points, because there's obviously some extra setup that I'm not doing. that I should be doing. I don't know if I need to close that every time I am doing. I'm going to create a permanent link down here. Use the Vice console to exit Vice. Okay, so yes, I should have probably practiced with this beforehand. Also, this is completely different to the one I had. I think the one I had was an old thing that you'd done. Okay. That's a horrible intro. It doesn't allow you to skip on at all. You only get the brightness when you're debugging in the debugger. So how would I rewind this then? If I want to get to the point where it's crashing, I'm going to use the menu to pause it right there. There we go. I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing here. Do I need to connect again? There we go. Oh no, it started again. Damn it. The idea is you stop in Vice before something that is buggy, and then you step in the debugger to find the issue by going back and forth. Okay. So I would is that now in here? Yeah, I think you might have to train me up on this. More of a fixing tool. Yeah, I can see how it would be quite kind of useful for fixing as well. But what would be nice, so the problem I had, so let me show you why this was an issue. So maybe there's something we can figure out. So I was trying to, and this is the same on all of these versions as well, so you can see we're doing some unpacking here. So I was looking in here for what was going on. The unpacking routines for this were kind of annoying, but there is this bit here, which I believe is the end of the unpack. So you come to, goes through all this, and then it gets to here. And so what this is doing is setting the value 35, hexadecimal 35, into the processor port, which enables RAM on the basic, RAM on the kernel, setting the interrupt flag, and then jump into 402B. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. Actually, I'm setting the interrupt flag. I mean, it doesn't really matter where I do this. It's just, I get the same effect either way. So 402B seemed to me to be the entry point. If I go here, it kind of looks like an entry point. It's resetting the stack pointer, and then it does a few other routines. And you can see here, we are indeed at 30. Whoops, we are indeed at 35 on that processor port. And if I continue from here, you see we go in. There's nothing else beyond that point. This bit of routine here, what it does is it ticks down a value in, I think it's 0400. If I go there, see this value here. Actually, it's not doing. Oh, it's sticking it here now. So it ticks down this value here, and whenever it reaches 0, it flicks to a different screen. And that's all it's doing. But for the life of me, I cannot get that to work properly. Yeah, that's what I thought, but it doesn't. That's the strange thing. So let's just restart that again. So I thought the same thing. Like, is it going to that jump first? Oops, is that broken on something here? Let's just leave that there. That's fine. Let's just skip past that one. I'm not going to spend too long doing this. What I might do though is we might take a look at some other graphical games as well. So if there are any other graphical games you'd like to take a look at, let me know in chat and we'll take a look shortly. I would like to maybe see if we can find the stepper counters for. Well, see, this is a different unpacker. There's lots and lots of different unpackers. Hey Fry, welcome to the stream, dude. Okay, so if infinite lives, no, and then we go again. If we go back to 0140, so there's this jump here. So yeah, I thought the same thing. Maybe it's going. Maybe there's another thing that it's doing before it goes there. But it never actually got to that. It gets into here. For some reason I can't add credits on my. I seem to have a lot of problem with the joystick on this. I really wish they'd work on some of the kind of basic things in this. Use keyboard as joystick, yes. Yeah, I can't actually add credits. But yeah, it never gets to that location as well. And I tried the same in here. I tried putting so was it A7A? I tried putting that in here as well. I tried different memory locations as well, like copying much more memory from lower down. That didn't seem to make any difference. And in fact, if you look at the memory range from here, it's all zeroed out anyway. There's a little bit here. I tried copying this area in, made no difference. So I tried using Xamizer to bring it in. That didn't work either. So you'll see on here. Why is that not working now? That's not working. Oh, because I forgot the. There we go. Yeah, I can imagine debugging it is an absolute pigging nightmare. I absolutely don't. It doesn't annoy me as such. It's just there's a few kind of pain points, I guess, while we're working with it. But yeah, I'm not complaining. I mean, I couldn't write something like this. Not in the kind of level of detail that they've done it in. Hey Hayes, welcome to the stream, dude. And Akinfin, welcome. Yeah, new overlays. I switched to OBS on the advice of Hayes from Streamlabs, but it did mean I had to redo my overlays. So I thought I'd give it a bit of a overhaul. I've got new alerts as well now, so I've got new. Well, I don't have any of the Streamlab alerts, so there's actual proper alerts for things. So anyway, I'm not going to spend any more time going into this. Oh, thanks for the host, Hayes. I don't know why that did not show up. There should be an alert for that. That's unusual. Have I not got my alert on this screen? There should be an alert. I don't know why that didn't show up. Oh wait, have I not got my Muxy alerts on? Oh, I do have it on. Oh, okay. I don't know why that didn't show. Maybe I've only got it set for raids, not hosts. I don't know. I'm still kind of figuring out how to do the alerts. So I've been using Muxy alert or Muxy ticker or something it's called. Actually, let me go and have a quick look. Yeah, let's do some graphical games. So I'm gonna see if we can find the ticker for these items. Oh, there we go. I got a follow one. Follow's working. Thanks for the follow. I missed the name there. How do I see it in OBS? Damn. I don't know how to see my history. Oh, I can probably see it on my Muxa thing, can't I? No, doesn't tell me. well, thank you for the follow, whoever you were. I don't know how to see that. This is really bad of me. I know. Still learning how to use all this. It's only been like 8 months or something like that, and I've still not learned everything. Oh, actually, I should say on my overlay who the last follow was. Northurgoz. Thank you for the follow, Northurgoz. Welcome to the stream. I forgot I did that as well. I put the last follow on, so yeah. Okay, so as I say, there's this great article about Rainbow Islands that Braybrook wrote last year, and he mentions some of these statistics. I wish I'd have found this while I was doing Parasol Stars, actually, because this is and I will use this to go through and use some of these things. So if you collect 3 shoes, you get points for stepping. If you collect 3 red jars, you get points for landing. You collect 3 yellow jars, you get points for rainbows, and so on and so on and so on. There's lots of these. So these are persistent between rounds as well. So these have to be close the cookie message. What cookie message? What cookie message? Oh, this bit. Yeah, whatever. I don't see them anymore. I'm kind of blind to them. Between that and GDPR, you lose half the sites nowadays. Yeah, so these persist between gameplays, as he says. Where is it? He does mention somewhere. Yeah, the game is keeping count of what you collect. It even carries over from game to game. It's also counting other events such as hurry up message and player losing a life. This can allow for more exotic statistical specials to come after a few games. There are 43 statistical specials and a 44th, a graphed gold key. So I didn't realise this, but they actually put in their own bonus that isn't in the arcade. It's only available on the home computer ports, which is kind of cool. So let's see if we can find out where those counters are. They're not going to be that easy to find, I don't imagine, because in this case he says there's 44. There's not 44 in this list. So what sort of things does he say it's counting? He's counting player losing a life, hurry up messages. I believe it's count steps as well. So let's see if we can find an area of memory where it might be doing that. We could imagine it would be in the 0 page. So let's... Unfortunately, my joystick stopped bloody working in here. Okay, let's give it a reboot. Let me restart the debugger. So one thing he mentions, and I definitely found this with Parasol Stars as well, so I'm assuming it's the same kind of thing, is that you're better off having a couple of practice goes where you don't collect everything. You kind of skip some things deliberately, because as he says in that article, let me find it again. Where was it? He does mention it somewhere in here that if you, in order to maximize the rarer bonuses, I used to avoid collecting gems, pots and crystal balls I didn't need. The gem ones will start to come out after a few levels as they are high priority and gems are often collected. So it's not about just grabbing every item as you go along. You if you're strategic about how you do it, then you can actually get the better items quicker. And because it carries over from game to game, it makes sense to have a couple of practice goes first where you strategically play those in order to not get very far, but to get rid of the crappy items and just prepare yourself for your real game where you'll get decent items as you go along. Right, let's see if we can figure out where these items are stored then. So hurry up messages was one, so I'm gonna I think my personal gripe with the debugger is the joystick support is a little bit broken. It certainly makes it playing a game through it impossible. Not that you're supposed to play a game through it, it's only meant for debugging, isn't it? But for these purposes it would be kind of useful. I am going to put unlimited lives on just so I can see the hurry up counter as it comes. Okay, so let's stick some credits in. Let's see if we can see where the credits go actually. So we've got one credit. I don't see, there's a one there. There's a one there. There's a couple of ones down there. Put it on two. I don't see any twos down here. Oh, there's a two there, okay. No, that's a three now. Okay, so we could use our cheat finder program to find that, so it might not actually be there, it could be somewhere random in memory. Okay, let's, hopefully we can start around, yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to let the time run out so the hurry up message comes. So you can see there's a lot of stuff going on here, a lot of stuff being read. There's kind of a blank area here, which looks like it's probably to do with the map or something. Yeah, it looks like a map's been built there. So player deaths is another one he said was being used. Let's have a look. Right, so we've had 2 player deaths now. Let me pause it. And let's save out some values. So let's call this 1. Let's have another player death. I should go and get myself killed. Typical. There we go. That's another player death. Call this 2, and then go and grab my cheat finder script, see if we can find where it's, because if we can find one of them in memory, then the other ones are probably quite close by. Cheat finder, where is it? Cheat finder, there we go. I'm just going to copy it into here for now. Open up a command script there. I did try and get the ultimate set up today to do SID music, to play SID music randomly. I found this ACID 64 player, which is really good. You can store all the SIDs on your computer and send them to the ultimate over the network. But it doesn't have a shuffle feature, which is unfortunate. It would have been quite a nice feature to add. And then I could have had it running in the background, and then I was considering using some kind of node server or something to react to stuff in the chat, so you can have these channel points. I actually do have channel points. I still don't know how to use those. I was messing around with them on Hayes Streaming the other night. That was kind of cool, but I don't know how to set them up for my own stream. Thanks for the sub, Hayes. 4 months, nice. Yeah, it's not. I've deliberately kept the sub alerts quite short. I've not gone crazy on them. But they're there now. They're not the horrible Streamlabs ones. So okay, so let's try cheat find. I can't remember how to do it. First one is 1.bin. Second one is 2.bin. The initial value is 02, 03. Found one match at 61. Okay. Which is this one here. So let's keep an eye on that when we die. It's enshrined now in my alerts. And if you don't see it on my alerts, then I'm pretty sure Hayes will play it every now and again. He does like to tease me with it. Yep, so this is indeed our player death counter. So I've got infinite lives on, so this is just going to keep going up, but it looks like this is where these things are happening. So let's have a look and see if we can force some of these. So he says there's 44 statistical specials in the game, and they seem to count up to no higher than 120, so I assume they're all going to be single things. Player deaths here 61. So let's have a look, see if we can force a hurry message. So the hurry message is this one here. In this list it just happens to be 2 ahead. Let's see if he's got this list from the code or if he's just kind of pulled this from somewhere. So let's try and stay alive, but not complete the level. This would be a good spot to stand. So I would guess it's this section here, 63. So we see the hurry up message appear here now. I've not got my little pad for writing stuff on. I should probably be writing these down. Hopefully that's going to appear soon. It certainly seems to appear quicker than this when you're actually playing the game. Hurry up message. Oh no, it was this one here. So it seemed to skip one. So I don't think he's listed them all. I think he's skipped some out. So I'm gonna die, and I'm gonna see if that one counts up again. So that was 64. Let's try again. Let's just get to a nice area where we can stay still. In fact, this will do. So this is our death counter. There's a couple of different things here. Enemy crushed as well was another thing. So there's another counter which counts how many enemies we crush. So I don't know which one that is. Let's go and see if we can find that one. So we're looking for one of these numbers to turn to 2. Or actually go up in some way. And it didn't, so it could be this one here. I don't know which. I don't know how many we've actually crushed so far. I feel like it's more than just 2 though. But it looks like these are the numbers around this area. So let's have a look at his list again. Player deaths. Enemies crushed is a bit further along, so I would expect it to be. There's the hurry message, and there it is. Yeah, so this is the hurry message one. So enemy crushed is probably down in this section here somewhere. So let's see if we can crush another enemy. Keep our eye on those as we. I completely missed that, and I'm gonna die because my joystick's stuck. Could be that one maybe. Joystick's stuck in one direction. Honestly, this is the biggest problem with this at the moment. I can handle everything else, but that, I mean, I can't do anything there. Yeah, I'm completely stuck. So we can actually force a few things up now. So what it says is if you get these things, then what happens is the next special item will be one of these. So if we get 6 hurry messages, we should spawn a feather on our next special item. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do anything. Ah, there we go. Now I'm walking. Oh god, now it's jumping all the time. And now it's walking to the side again. Right, there we go. Let's just get through this level. Right. So I've probably missed because it's on 8 now, so I probably missed that peacock feather. So every 3rd item gives you a gem. Oh. Right, do you know what? I'm going to take a quick break, and then when I come back, we'll see if we can trigger one of the special items. I'll restart the game properly from the beginning, so we can see these items reset. And we'll try and trigger one. Let's have a quick look before I go, just to see which would be the easiest one. Gives all 7 gems in the right order. See, this is a good one. 77 rounds. So if we can figure out where this one is every time we complete a round, and this is going to count up between games. So if we don't use infinite lives, so we can just keep doing the first level over and over again. We use the cheat find to find it. Then we set it to 77. And then I think rare one takes priority. The most common one is lost. Okay. You can only get 1 statistical special per level. Okay, so this, I'm guessing this is a rarer one, so we'll try and trigger that one. Alright, I'm going to go for a quick break, and when I come back we'll have a go at that, and then after we've messed around with that for half an hour or so, we'll load up, what was it, Morpheus, I think Stepz suggested? Yeah, Morpheus. Which I don't think I've played, actually. Or have I? I don't know. We'll find out. Alright. Be right back, guys. And I'm back. Alright, let's get through this menu. Come on. There we go. Music is quiet. Actually, one thing I do like about the about OBS versus Streamlabs is the volume sliders are a bit easier to manage. Is it still too quiet, or is... I'll put it there. Let me know if it's too quiet still. Evening Stoker, welcome to the stream. How do I get off this screen? Oh, come on. Shut it off. Okay, now, cool. I do have so many problems with this debugger. Let's try again. I'll do it one more try, and if this doesn't work, I'm just going to load Morpheus up. There's probably a new version of debugger as well. I've not checked for a while. I do find it funny how Streamlabs is always kind of touted as a more efficient version of OBS, but actually I found this to be much more efficient than Streamlabs. So thank you, Hayes, for that. Appreciated. Okay, so let's just do... another, let's just do a round with standard. I'll get through one round, so I've got the number 1 in memory somewhere to check. Hopefully I can do it without breaking the joystick controls. Okay, so let this round complete. Okay, and now I'm going to take a memory dump of that. I'm going to call that 1. And then I'm going to try and complete another level. So now that's 2 rounds complete. I don't see... Actually, I do see a 2 there. Oh. Let's pause. Call that 2. And then bring up our cheat finder again. So 1.bin, 2.bin. Checking to make that bigger. There you go. First value in hex 01, 02. Okay, so it's found a few, but only one in 0 page, which is this one here. So I'm going to change this to 77 now. Actually, no, I'm going to change it to 76, so it ticks over to 77. Which is in hexadecimal 6C, I think, will give us 76. So I'm hoping this value goes up to 6D when I complete the level. And then hopefully it'll give us all the gems in the right order. Oh, and I'm stuck walking this way now. There we go. Right. This level's not going to be easy on keys, that's for sure. I hate that bee spider thing, whatever it is. Oh. Okay, there's a little bug. Does this tick over? No, it went to 03, so it's like there's another counter somewhere. This is being copied from somewhere else. So this might be like the permanent store for it. And then there's probably... Oh, did that give me all the gems then? What happened then? I'm not sure what happened then, but... Oh, what is going on? I've definitely broken something, because it's behaving really weird now. I wonder if these values are being written to from somewhere else. Let me do a search. So if we bring up the opcodes and we look for 0 page store, so store accumulator 0 page 85, and have a look for 854B in here. 854B 4E14. Okay, so there is a location that's right in. (166, Y) store accumulator 4B. So there does seem to be a load of counters elsewhere as well. 1166. So let's keep an eye on these as we play. So let's do another. And complete another round, and my joystick stopped working. Yeah, I need to get a different version of this. This debugger, it's not good. Okay, let me see if I've got Morpheus. Let's have a look at that game. Alright, so I should have it on my drive somewhere. Morpheus. Let's restart this while we're at it. Unfortunately, all my ROMs are in 8-character mode. So Morpheus small. Yes, there we go. There's a tape version. That's a bit weird. Okay, let's open it in here and grab the PRG out. Line counter. That's an Acmafin level joke, that. Okay, so code to force, and I've completely lost joystick control, so I'm going to have to restart the bloody debugger again. So if I was to write a hack for Rainbow Islands, that's what I would do. I would have all the line counter. Oh, I don't know what you mean. I would have all the bonuses turned on so that you would start getting bonuses straight away. Yeah, very good point. Hey, Aquafin jokes are not jokes. They're just really, really, really bad things that Aquafin said. Infinite Energy. I have no idea how to play this game. I can't even remember if I have played this game. Also, my joystick stopped working again. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's turn that on. Oh, I think I have played this. It looks familiar. I'm not sure why it looks familiar. No, I haven't played this. I'm just going up now. I think I've broken the... Yeah. So it's a nice Starfield effect going on there. We'll take a look at that actually. So, what's actually happening here? So we're just in multi-character mode. This is actually all characters, which makes sense because it doesn't look like it actually moves. It's everything else that moves around it. We've got... Let's bring up the... some characters here, which could... In fact, I don't see... Oh, it's these things here. Okay. So this is actually background colour behind here. This is character colour in the front. So black is a character colour. Or is it? Because it doesn't look like it is in here. It's none of these. Oh, 2-2 or 2-3 it could be as well. So it could be that black is one of the character colours. And then these stars. These are the stars that are... I'm guessing they're... Yeah, they're... different positions, different heights. Okay, so it's a relatively simple effect, but it's done nicely because it's done with multiple layers. So it looks like there are 2 layers. There's a top layer and a bottom layer, which is moving a bit slower. Whoa, I didn't want that. That's not the screen I wanted, that's the screen I wanted. And let's get it so that there's 2 stars really close. Yeah, see this, when the stars touch each other, they disappear. So there's no... The top stars take priority. See this star here? It takes priority over the bottom one. So if it encroaches on its character position, which it has done there, then that star in that square disappears. Which is actually not a bad effect, because it's kind of gives them a bit of a twinkle as well, so... Rainbow Islands. Yeah. Focus on the screen window, yeah. What happened to Rainbow Islands? Can I make the player move left and right while in the air? Rainbow Islands, I was having some issues with the controls on that, so I've kind of put it to one side for now. I would like to revisit that though at some point. I think it's a sort of game we could really kind of play around with that a little bit. I certainly need to dig into it a little bit more for finishing Parasol Stars, because it looks like Braybrook got some really good documentation together for... That's the wrong window. That's the wrong window. Where is it? Have I just overread the page? I think I have, haven't I? He got some really good documentation together for writing the game, and he's been kind enough to make a blog post with most of it in here. So I'll be going through this at some point. But I'd like to mess around with the game as well. Maybe do our own version of that as well. So. Back to here. So when the stars align, one of them disappears. Yep. The URL to this, yeah, sure. It's this one here. So he wrote this in March last year, by the looks of things. I think this is brave. Yeah, Iridium author. It must be him that's written it. And it's good. It explains how they did all the different versions and who did what, and how they achieved it. It looks like they got a lot of good information from Tato, which is nice. It's weird that I've not seen this game before. I'm kind of intrigued by it. So is that what's sprites here and what's not? So we've got enemies are sprites, and that's it. The player isn't a sprite. The bullets aren't a sprite. They don't need to be. The player ship doesn't move, so. Is kind of a nice effect because it lets you have a really massive ship. It's using multicolour for here, so there's not even a raster split here. These are just multicolour characters. Be on the right window to make this work. Get stuck in different directions. This is the problem. The joystick controls for the debugger, it's very easy to get it locked in a particular direction. There we go, it's stopped now. But now I can't shoot for some reason. I don't know why I can't shoot, but whatever. Oh, and these are all sprites. It's interesting. And there is a little bit of a multiplexer going on here as well. So, or it's either a multiplexer or it's just building them very, very quickly. I think it's just building them quickly. It doesn't seem to be. There's a bit of a multiplex going on there on the main screen. I'm not sure what these are. There doesn't seem to be anything in them. It's only this one that seems to be doing anything. Yeah, it probably was made for demos more than it was made for games. I think I mean, you rarely use a joystick in a demo. I can't think of any demos that do use the joystick. I'm sure there are some out there, but I can't think of any offhand. Seems the key input problem is not caused by. Oh no, it's not caused by Rainbow Islands. I did take a look at the multi-load, so in fact, let me just quickly go back to Rainbow Islands just to show Tinspin, because I know Tinspin's asked about Rainbow Islands before in the past. So find the D64 that I got for the Rainbow Islands, and I can't find it now, which is great. Check my downloads. Doesn't really matter which one. So Rainbow Islands is a bit friendlier as a multi-load game. This is the disk image for it. I don't know how well you can see that. 64.56. Wow, I am behind. This appears to be the levels basically loading in, and this is the main PRG. So basically, as long as you kind of load the main PRG up, you can get the level. I think these are like the extra levels. I think it starts with 2 levels loaded in already. Certainly, I've definitely been able to get it to load and play just by using this one here. Which is just a PRG I've extracted from a D64. is one of my favourite games, Rainbow Islands, as well. It was one of my first full-price games. Up until that point, I'd only really been buying the budget games because that's all my pocket money allowed me to do at the time. But I remember seeing the reviews for Rainbow Islands in I think it was Commodore format. It might have been Zap, I can't remember. It's one of the magazines at the time. I remember seeing a review for it and I was like, right, I have to get this game. So I saved up for a couple of weeks rather than go and buy. So I had a habit of just going, when I got my pocket money, going to the local game store and just buying any game that was there, basically, just so I had another game. And I ended up with some real shit games because of that. Some real gems as well, but I ended up with a lot of crap as well. See, I'm stuck trying to get past this point now. Some seconds in the rough. Yeah, I discovered some nice games. Spy vs Spy was one I found like that because I didn't know of it at all, and I saw it there and I thought I'll give it a try, and it ended up being one of my most played games. I ended up playing that quite a lot. Okay, I'm going to try and grab the latest version of the debugger because I'm a little bit annoyed by this. So let's have a look. Debugger. See what version is on SourceForge. Downloads files, there we go. 64.56.6, there we go. Let's just give that a try. Is that downloading? Yeah, there we go. Log in on CSDB. Yeah, I get annoyed with finding it on CSDB because they don't remove the old versions. Oh, you put it in disk. I think I've already got it anyway. Thanks, Stepz. Oh, what's this? Oh, you sent a message yesterday, Stepz, and I missed it. Is this okay? Oh, I'll take a look at that at some time. I might do that on the next Dissect stream. Thanks for that. Okay, let's slap this debugger in to my tools folder, which is here. Oh, it looks like it's the same bloody version. Again. What? Let's just put it on the desktop. Let's try it from here. Maybe it's not over. Oh, there we go. Don't know why it didn't override. That's strange. Must be some kind of priority thing. Spy vs Spy is an absolute genius. Do you know what? I'd love to see you and Chiz play that, Hayes. That would be a really good multiplayer game. I'd like to see that. Alright, let's give this a try again. Same Rainbow Islands. Let's give it a try, see what happens. Have you managed to get a Santa hat on... What's that Santa hat on? That looks like it's in the wrong place. The other game I used to like, two-player, was a racing game called Ivan Iman Stewart's Off-Road Racer. I absolutely loved that in two-player. Me and my mate used to play that all the time. Maybe a little bit too much. Again, I've lost control. I feel like I've got some weird settings somewhere. I'm going to reset all my settings. Restart the debugger, okay. Ivan Imans is brilliant, yeah. I used to really like it in the arcade, so when they brought it out on the C64, I couldn't believe it. And I remember getting it on, I think it was on one of the first demo tapes for Commodore format. I'll just turn this music off. Don't know if you can hear that music, but it's quite annoying. Oh, there's a mute Sid. Oh, it's just on pause, okay. Yeah, I think it was on one of the first Commodore format tapes, so like the first or the second one before they actually called them power packs. They were called power packs, but they didn't have the proper plastic cases. They just came with like a cardboard sleeve that you kind of tore out of the back of the magazine. Oh, cut out the back of the magazine. No, it's still not working. Do I need to do something in the joystick maybe? No, that just... Oh, I don't know how I did that. Yeah, I'm not having a lot of luck with this. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know why it's being so funny. Let me try a different version of the game. I've got a couple of different versions that I've got on here, I believe. Let's try that one. Yeah, this one I had more luck with. Unlimited lives, no. Unlimited credits, no. But again, this has the same problem when I try and export this. There was a couple of games actually on that the very first disc. There was a game called Revolution, I think it was called. It was a really cool idea. You had a ship in the middle, single ship in the middle that had a shield around it, and you basically had to blast enemies as they came towards you. But when you rotated, it wasn't the ship that rotated, or the ship did rotate, but the whole screen rotated as well, and it had a really nice kind of radial starfield going on. It's a cool little game. I never saw it anywhere else. It was only on that magazine that I saw it. Okay, so I can actually add things there. Where was it? Was it this one, wasn't it? I'm going to try setting that to 4C again, see what happens when I start the game. No, reset. So something is copying that from memory, and I think we were looking at 1166, weren't we, as the location for this one here. So let's try setting it there. Oops, and then complete around and see what happens. I hate those B things, whatever the hell they are. Oh, come on. So this is what I'm looking at here. This seems to be the value that gets copied into memory down at the bottom. I'm going to see if this goes up. It does go up. And then let's go and have a look. Let's just pause it because I do want to try and carry on. 4B has indeed. Okay, so that is, so there's another location in memory. So this looks like this is the permanent store. This is where things get recorded, probably between games. But there's a counter that's during the game, which is the one in non-zero page memory. I realise I've gone from one game to another game and then back to this game again, but whatever. While it's working, let's carry on. If it fails, though, for any reason, I'm going back to Morpheus. So I'm trying to get some kind of bonus now. I don't seem to be getting anything special. I would expect to be getting... No, not that one. It said once per level, didn't it? So I've not got anything special on this level yet, so... Oh, you shit. No, gem and a pot. Or maybe I have to get it on the next level. Maybe it only counts when it goes to this next level. So that's 77, 78. I'm at 78 rounds complete now. And I've not got anything, unless it starts giving me the gems in the correct order or something. Ah, shit. It's definitely not resetting that value. So that's good. So it is copying it from that location. Oh, you bugger. No, see, I've just got the green one. I'd love to complete this one day. I think the 64 version is really hard. I think the Amiga version is a bit easier. I'm not sure why that is the case, but it definitely seems to be the case. I think Hayes said the same thing actually. I think he was saying that the Amiga version was easier. Yeah, I'm not getting them in order, am I, at all? Oh, you shit. It's really hard to play on the keys as well. You kind of need that quick reaction you get from the keyboard. Now I've got the Ultimate set up as well. I will do some streams on that at some point, because it's all set up through this thing now, so I can actually very easily kind of switch. So if I wanted to, in fact, let me just quickly demonstrate. If I press that and then that, assuming it's on, I think it is on. And then if I just click on my capture game in, yeah, it is on, so very easily switch to that. Or the Raspberry Pi, I can switch to that quite easily now as well. So it's a simple job to do these things now. Let's go back to coding. Okay, I'm not sure why that's not triggering. Should we try a different one? What else have we got in here? Collect 3 shoes, you get points for stepping. Okay, but then we'd need to trigger shoes as well. Oh right, you have to pick up a ruby ring, okay. Yeah, and it's actually really cool. I'll show you on the Ultimate. So if I put that on the capture card again, and then show you on here. So there's this tool called Acid 64. So I don't have any SID tunes at all on the Ultimate, but I can tell the Ultimate to play a tune that I tell from my PC. So if I that, so that's been clicked on my desktop, which you can't actually see there. Triggered that from my desktop. Oh god, that sounds awful. That's gone a bit weird. And what I've found as well, if I bring up, just trying to switch between these things. So if I bring up open recent, yeah, if I bring up .cosmos, so I wrote a little script, and what this lets me do, if I bring up Telnet on my phone, I don't know if you can see my phone there. No, I'll do it on here. Actually, it's probably a bit easier. So what you can do, you can Telnet into the machine. 64, and you can see the menus while something else is running. So you can change disks while it's running. But then what I can do is if I do a build of .cosmos, so that's built, and now that's uploaded to here, you see, and I can run that. And then if I go to my capture gaming, it's there. So I've got the latest build on there. So that's as far as I've got the automation, but I think there's a better way of doing it. So I was looking at a tool called Packet Sender, because I don't know if anybody's used Wireshark before. So Wireshark is a kind of cybersecurity tool for checking network traffic. But if you go to the loopback traffic capture, and then you go into your ACID player again, where's the ACID player gone? So let me go back to the Sublime. So this is Wireshark, and if I open up ACID player, why isn't that loaded? Have I already got it open somewhere? There we go. And I just put a filter in here, so I do ip.dist, so ip.dst, there we go. Equals. So now it's just filtering the things I'm sending, and if I send a tune, you'll see, actually you didn't see it on there, I'm on the wrong one, it's not the loopback. So you can actually see the packets that this is sending to the Ultimate, and what it's doing is it sends the SID tune over as a data stream, and then the Ultimate knows how to run it. So I'm hoping you can do the same thing by sending a PRG over as a packet, and then the Ultimate will know to run it, and that way I don't even have to use Telnet or FTP, because what I'm doing with .cosmos there, this one, this make script here, this is actually FTPing this to the machine. But I'm hoping that if I use a packet sender program, or just might do it myself and send packets to the Ultimate, I should be able to get it to launch PRGs without actually having to FTP anything to the machine. So that's where I am with that. When I get a bit further with that and I've got something that works, I'll share that with you guys. So have you heard whether the 16-bit K kind of competition is going ahead next year? I remember you saying the guy got a bit of disillusion with it. Yeah, that's what I'd heard. I can't remember who told me that. Somebody told me that. I hope it does. I hope it does, because this year's been incredible. I've only been doing it for a couple of years now, 2 or 3 years. I've been back on the scene, but when I've looked back at the history of the competition, this year is insane. There are so many games, and so many very good games as well. It'd be a shame not to. So I hope he does, and I would like to enter Andy and Mandy and Candyland, or whatever, pick a mix, whatever we call it. I'd like to enter that into it, and I've got an idea for a game that I've been experimenting with, hence the AGSP stuff. And that was kind of an experiment for an idea I've got, which if it works will be a kind of infinite, kind of like Luna's an infinite level, kind of like that, but an infinite landscape in 16 kilobytes. So with a nice mechanic over the top of it. I've got some good ideas I want to do. But I mean, the thing is, it's on the list. I've got so many things I'm working on at the moment. It's crazy. And I've not done much for the past 2 or 3 weeks while I've been building this and sorting this room out. So, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm actually sat where my camera used to point. So I'm on the opposite side of the room. I used to sit there, and the camera faced here, and I'm switched over. I'm on the other side now. It's a bit more room, and it's giving me more room to tidy up back here and make this a bit more reasonable. Yeah, still waiting for the results for this year. Okay, what else can we do? The problem is without being able to load this game properly, this is as far as I've got with the load. Without being able to load it properly, it's difficult to actually make any changes, because I get stuck at this point. The moment I add a credit, it crashes and I can't do anything. So it's kind of tricky to actually get anywhere with it. I don't know why it crashes there. I can't seem to get it to recover no matter what I do. What other graphical games are there? I'm trying to think of some. Can't think of any. Let's see. While I let me just rename that folder so I don't call it. I might as well show you this AGSP thing. So I posted this on Discord the other day. May as well share it. Show you what it looks like. I will probably go over this at some point and explain how it works, because it's a cool routine. It would be good to kind of share it with people so they can use it. So I took the graphics from Navy SEALs. I took the AGSP routine from Codebase 64. I turned it into a kick assembler version, tidied it up a little bit, made it a bit more useful for what I want to do, taking it forwards. And the end result is a super fast scrolling, full colour scroll, and this white area is the raster time used to do it. It's pretty damn fast. I mean, it's not doing any of the copy, it's just looping the same screen over and over again. But you can see it is moving the colours around, and it is really, really quick. I actually don't need the speed, but I do need the raster time. So it's the map I'm going to be scrolling around is going to move a lot slower than this. But it is going to be. It does need to be full colour. It does need to be rendered fairly quickly so that I can have all this raster time for other stuff. Because I'm going to be doing, hopefully, I'm going to be doing some procedural level generation. So the idea being is, because I want to make it a 16K game, I want to make sure that the map is never fully in memory in one go. The only bit of the map you see is the bit that's on the screen, and maybe a little bit of the edges. And as you move around, it generates the new areas of the map off the screen, but using a seeded random number, so you can go back to an area and it'd be the same as it was before. So kind of like Luna, but with the random number generator being seeded, so you always get the same result depending on your X and Y coordinate. It should make for quite a big map as well, probably bigger than anything I've seen so far on the 64. So yeah, let's do that actually, Stepz. That's not a bad idea. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break, well, probably less than that, 3 or 4 minute break. and then we'll go through those demos instead, I think. I did try and get Rainbow Islands working today. It's a really awkward game. I'm not sure what it's doing. I will upload the code that I've got, and maybe somebody else can figure out what's going on with it. So I'll just upload this folder as I do. I do apologise that I don't tidy these folders up any better than they are, but I'll be here all day if I do that with every single thing that I do. So I will upload it when it's done. If anybody does want to have a mess around with it and try and get the entry point working for it, that'd be great. And if you do get it working, let me know, and we'll do another stream where we really kind of dig in and play around with the game a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick break, and when I come back we'll do those. We'll take a look at those demos that Stepz posted. Alright, be right back, guys. Right, I'm back. So let's grab these demos. Let's look at the list. How's the stream been tonight, by the way, guys? Because I'm aware that this is the first time I've streamed with OBS, and I'm not sure if I got the settings quite right. I hope I did. That one, yeah. It seems to have been alright so far, from what I can tell. I have a fire at the bottom of the screen. Yeah. I quite like that. I can't even remember where I got that from. I think it was in one of the Streamlabs kits. I pulled out all the animations from the Streamlab kits, and that was one of the ones that was there. Right, I'm going to unpin that one. I'm going to pin that one instead. Move that over there. Right. So let's go to my downloads folder. Should be there. So this one is called No More Grey Dots. So let's have a look. Oh, that's cool. Okay, let's have a pause and have a look what's going on here. So this looks like it's sprite expansions, so I'm guessing as we move over here we will see sprite registers. Oh no, so and it's raster effects, but what is actually masking the raster effects? Because this is just the Triad logo. Okay, so we can definitely see a raster effect going down the screen, which is where we're getting these bars from. I'm not seeing any drawing on the screen. I would have expected to see something drawing on there. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely doing that. D011 equals 11. Is it? Where is D0? I'm not seeing that on here. It's just not that one. Never find the screen that I want. Where is it? There we go. Oh right, yeah, I see what you're saying. So they're, because these are in pairs of 4, so there is no characters here, as Carl says. The timing's just done so that the rights make perfect kind of lines here. So you set the values in the accumulator, the X register and the Y register, and then you just turn. So you set black in one, and then you set this other color in the next one, and then you just write the right thing. So in the code there'll be an unrolled loop somewhere that's doing that. So let's see if we can find that unrolled loop. So let's run the code. Where is it actually? Oh, it's... What the hell happened there? Let's have a look at it again. I used it for the screen. Wow, okay. Oh, okay. So the code is modifying on the fly. They're setting... Yeah, so as Carl says, they're setting D011 to 0, which means that you're only seeing border color, and then they're changing these values, so they're probably updating these values here, the first value in this column here, so that it turns on at the right time, and then each row is probably updated separately. So yeah, it's self-modifying this code. So as we run this, if I just hold this here so it doesn't follow, and we keep our eye on what's going on here, you'll see as the characters move across, they change from NOPs and bits to stores instead. So you're getting a NOP means do nothing. So you can use, so there's a few different types of NOP. And one of the NOPs does take an address, but it still does nothing. So it takes up 3 bytes, so they can still use a NOP just by changing this to 0C at the beginning. And then the X register has a colouring. In this case it's yellow because we're somewhere around here, probably in the middle of this line here. So it stores yellow. And then bit D020 is basically doing the same thing as a NOP. It's not changing anything. But it is setting some flags, and then it's doing this once for each character as it goes across. So it's just a clever effect. And then I'm guessing there's some kind of NOP field at the beginning, or some kind of delay at the beginning to make things move across. Yeah, they are. And the Ultimate is not 100% compatible. Okay, with this. Every demo it seems to work, so I'd seen the issue. Oh, so there are apparently, I did look this up, so there's some of the older firmwares don't run the demos. There were some timing issues on some of the older firmwares, so just make sure your firmware is the latest firmware. You should be alright with the demos. In fact, we can probably load this up. Let's try it on the Ultimate. So quick connect, there we go. So if I'll put it in the build folder for now. Let's drop all these demos in. There we go. And then if I do the telnet thing, actually I can just do it from the machine, can't I? Let me bring it up. So it's gonna go into, what do I want? I want the Commodore on the capture card. There we go. All right. Yeah, it works fine on that. It's a really nice effect, that, actually. I like it. Clever use of the of that kind of timing as well. So this is the cool thing. This is the really cool thing with the telnet stuff. So even though I've got that running, I should be able to load the next one up. So if I do that, there we go. So you can't actually see the telnet, but basically the menu that you get when you press this, so this menu, I have access to that same menu from here, so I can very easily just kind of switch to different demos. So Dancing Curves was the last one, so let's have a look at that. Oh, they've used the same music. Oh, I've seen this. This is really nice. I like this. So I'm going to make some guesses as to how this works. So I think what it's doing is it's just a simple block of 16 characters or so that has this line animation running through it, and it's obviously a tessellated, or it's a tiling. Okay, it is in the borders as well, actually, isn't it? That's a really good point. I didn't think of that. Right, let's have a look at this one. I think it's a block of characters, but it might be using sprites in the border as well to do this. In which case it's a little bit more than that. Okay, let's switch back to the PC and let's have a look at that. So this one is Dancing Curves. Yeah, it is in the border as well. Okay, cool. Oh, it's all sprites. It's expanded sprites. Ah, okay. So it's 4 expanded sprites, so it's not characters, but it is the same sprite. It's just they're copying the sprite so they can change its colour. So you can see here, if I pause it, it's the same sprite all the way across. So they're not changing multiple sprites. They're just doing the animation in a single sprite, except for this one down here, where they're actually drawing something over the top as well. And then and because it goes from edge to edge, they can change the colour in this. In fact, they're just changing the sprite pointer. You see there, same sprite. It actually goes off when I go there, and then at this point here, it changes to a different sprite pointer, and then they use colour cycling, raster cycling through it. Same here as well, I guess. Yeah, but it's nice. It's a nice effect. I didn't notice the border thing. If it hadn't have been in the border, it could be done with characters quite easily. Same method really. You just create a pattern that repeats and change the colours in just one, for each block. You can see the colour changes as it goes between different areas. But it's a nice effect. I wonder how they're drawing that. I wonder if it's a pre-computed table. I bet it is a pre-computed table. It makes sense for it to be. Oh, and it's quit. So pressing space quits it. I realize you can only modify 4K of memory. It's not just the file size. You have to be clever with how much memory you use. Ah, okay. Wow, that is tricky. Because that's not a lot as well. So if this is pre-computed tables, which we can probably see actually if there is. Doesn't look. So this is where it's drawing. There does seem to be some stuff going on here. I think this is the sprite registers. Yeah, there's sound and sprite registers there. Lots of data being read there. I don't see anything that looks. That's nice as well. Sprites, characters being animated through the sprites. This could potentially be a lookup table. It doesn't look like code. 613. Yeah, it does. I think this is the table. In fact, yeah. Look, you can see the blue mark running through it. So this seems to be defining probably what direction the thing goes in. So this is kind of encoded in some way that defines where the next pixel, which pixel to clear probably, and which pixel to draw, and then it's cycling through. And so when it gets to the end down here, it will repeat again. That's a really nice intro. Crack intro rule, yeah. But you see, I like this. I think if crack groups had to make a different intro for every crack that they did, then I probably wouldn't mind. And if it was inventive as well. It's just when you see these ones that are just scrollers, it's just like, I mean, in an hour you can write something which scrolls some text across the screen, and you can write any old cracker that you want in it. It's not difficult to do, whereas this is inventive. This is nice. I like it. Let's have a look at the Invaders one and see what's going on with that one. Ooh. Okay, so this isn't using the side borders, but it is using the top border. and the bottom border. So I'm guessing this is all sprites mostly, and this will be some background character that's animating through. Oh no, that's sprites as well. Wow. Okay. So we've got. Okay, so we've got expanded sprites all the way down the screen to create those, and then I think it's using an FLD effect to move these varying amounts. There's no line crunch, it has to be FLD. So this scroller here, which is really hard to read actually, it's yeah, I mean, as Hayes says, one thing they don't do is make very readable text, but these three layers will just be being shifted down the screen by varying amounts to create this bounce effect here and this bounce here as well. But yeah, I mean, it's not a terrible intro. It's inventive again, I think. Looks cool. The Dancing Curves is my favourite though. That's definitely the best one out of the three. Oh, this is interesting. So if you look at the code here, it's also self-modifying. They've got clear overflow flag as the default, and then they're just moving code through it, which looks like it's using all sorts of weird instructions. Or maybe that isn't. I don't think that's code actually. I think that's something else. Yeah, that's not code because that would have run properly. So that's the data. It's probably to do with this, or it might be to do with the FLD. It might be the amounts that the FLD is moving by. In fact, if we look at it in action, yeah, I think it is. I think it's just the FLD amounts, and they're probably scrolling through. Yeah. So it looks like these values are being shifted through this array constantly to create this bounce effect. It's impressive that they do all this in 4K actually. It's cool. And that's where the code is by those things. Cool. Alright. So I want to have a look. Oh, so there is a colour shift as well. So there's a colour shift going through. Is it a colour shift or is it? I think it's just a. It's hard to tell because it's moving around all over the place. No, it's just a colour pulse, isn't it? It's a colour pulse, and I think it is moving up as well. And these are sprites down here as well. Cool. Alright, I think I'm going to call it there, guys. I don't really have a lot more to look at tonight. It's been a tricky one. It's been a bit different because this is a new setup, so I've not really had everything set up correctly tonight, but it does seem to have gone okay, so that's a good thing. Let's go and raid. Let's see. Amiga Bill's on. Hopefully is he still on? Yeah, he's. It looks like he's playing football of some kind, but I've just got a bloody advert come on. Typical. I'm going to let the advert finish. Can I raid from... Hang on, I can raid from here, can't I? Yeah, cool. So on Saturday we'll get back into doing the game. It's been a while since we've done it, so let's get back to that and hopefully get some more done on that. Christmas is going to be a bit on and off. I think I will do another Saturday stream before the new year, but I probably won't do the Thursday stream because I think the Thursday is Boxing Day. So Yeah, and yes, Carl, I will probably pick your brains, because I would like to start using that on stream. It looks like it's a really good debugger, and I'd like to kind of understand how it works and what I can and can't do with it. And it's just another great tool that I can add to my arsenal. So yeah, we'll do that. Okay, let's get Amiga Bullet Raid. And yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for coming along tonight. Good to see you all again. It's been some time. I hope you like the new overlays and the new alerts. And I will see you guys on Saturday. Good night, guys.